I'm not going to be long in this video. Just want to make this quite quick. I want to comment on the West Freeway Church of Christ that's in White Settlement, Texas. It's a city called White Settlement, where white people, majority of white people, settle. The only thing I have to say about this, first of all, I just want to say the first parishioner that got shot, that was dumb of him. Because when the shooter came in and he pulled that shotgun, pointed directly at him, he decides to stand up. Keep in mind, the shooter's looking right at him. So he decides to stand up, reach for his firearm, knowing that the shooter has the drop on him. So I thought that was quite foolish. Now, it's a good thing that a number of members of that church was armed. And I strongly believe that everyone that's legally carrying, concealing, should take their guns to church. If your church don't agree with you being armed, if your church does not welcome firearms, then that's not the church for you. You really don't need to be in a church that's a gun-free zone. Because that shooter, in his mind, he thought it was a soft target. He thought it was an unarmed, soft target. But to his surprise, it had security, armed security, and other members of that church was legally carrying. See, so if you're in a church that's a gun-free zone, that don't welcome firearms, that tell you that you should not bring your firearms to church, because keep in mind, even in the Bible, the disciples had swords. When Yeshua sat down and taught them, they were armed. Because at one point, Peter decided to pull his sword. When they came to take Yeshua, he pulled his sword, and Yeshua told him to put his sword away. So they were armed. Even though they were conducting services and they were being taught by Yeshua, the disciples were armed. So I really don't see anything wrong with a person that's legally concealing to take their guns to church. So when incidents like this happen, when people think that the church is a soft target, and they think that they can just go in and shoot up a church like they did, like Dylan Roof did. Dylan Roof went into this black church and shot it up. No one in that church was armed. So my advice would be to take your guns to church. If your church is a gun-free zone, you really don't need to be there. That's not the place for you. I don't care how good the teachings may be. It's not a good place, and it's not a safe place for you. And you need to leave that church. So feedback, tell me what you think about that. Until next time, I'm fearless.